What's one of the dumbest things you've ever spent money on? Chef Boyardee beefaroni. One summer, because I was hella bored, I bought some Chef Boyardee beefaroni and put it in my friend's mailbox as a prank. He didn't find it, but his parents did, and they asked their neighbors who did it. He suspected me at first, but I managed to get him off of my tail. Now our neighborhoods were fairly close to each other, so I could be over there in a 50-minute walk. Every night, I walked up to their neighborhood. Walking anywhere at 2 a.m. is creepy as hell, but the Boyardee bandit does not stop for demons, and put a can of beefaroni inside their mailbox. After about a month, they call the police to find out who's putting beefaroni in their mailbox. Luckily, the police really didn't care that much and just told them to get a camera, which they eventually did. Meanwhile, my friend is telling me all of this from his perspective. Right, so I usually know what they do before I strike. So I start covering my face and pretend to hunch over. I have no idea where this camera is, so I can never be too careful. They call the cops again and give them a profile, and now the cops are looking for a crippled beefaroni bandit. After a solid 3 months of this shit, one of the baggers at the store gets word somehow, and starts getting suspicious because he sees me buying tons of beefaroni. He confronts me. I tell him the truth, and I shit you not, he starts helping me beefaroni my friend's house. We're putting it all over, hiding it in the lawns, porch, fence, you name it. Halloween rolls around, and I dress up as Chef Boyardee. I go to my friend's house and say, "Your daily subscription to Chef Boyardee beefaroni has ended. Would you like to renew?" Quote. I hear laughter in the background, and it's the store clerk. Turns out he recently started dating best friend's sister, and that's how he heard. Truth be told, I don't think I've ever been punched harder than when my friend found out. Good times. We still laugh about it from time to time. TLDR, bought and hid Chef Boyardee beefaroni for nearly half the year around my best friend's house. The beefaroni bandit strikes again. Dude, if I could give platinum I would. That is hands down one of the funniest comments I have ever read in my whole time being on Reddit. I'm kind of tempted to try it myself, as my friend has a camera on his house and has a sense of humor, plus I think it would make him feel better because we haven't seen each other for a while. Props to you for doing that. I once went to a novelty thrift shop that had a ton of random shit. Ended up spending $10 on a framed picture of Count Dooku, Darth Sidious and Jango Fett from Star Wars, since my GF thought it was funny. The frame recently broke and I found out after seeing the back of the picture it was from a calendar when Attack of the Clones came out. Someone just cut this picture out of an old calendar, put it in a frame, and my dumb ass voluntarily spent $10 on it. You bought the frame. A copy of Cory in the house for the Nintendo DS, except for $30 in 2019. A 155-pack of condoms a week after I had a vasectomy. Complete brain-dead moment. Oh, a fellow Costco customer. My brother bought that pack for his study abroad in Europe. He came back with 155 condoms. I'd had a few drinks, TGIF, and wandered into a Williams-Sonoma store in a state of euphoria. There I saw a special edition KitchenAid stand mixer made in bronze that was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. It was on sale for $999. Naturally, I bought it. But because I'm a single guy who doesn't bake, it's just taking up much-needed counter space. No time like the present to learn. I bought a pager. The clip snapped. I took it to where I bought it. We only cover the pager, not the case. I walked outside right in front of the window and spiked the shit out, ate it. Walked back inside and said, "My pager is broken." Did it work? After I returned it, yay. I bought a timeshare winner, a Himalayan salt lamp, useless but aesthetically pleasing. I have one in my kid's bedroom. It has a great dimmable switch that can be turned way low and it becomes a very pleasant warm glowing night light for my children. I go in and turn it off after they've fallen asleep. I think it looks cool. Also, my kids lick the thing sometimes. Not the only child. My 12-year-old licked his and acted surprised when it was freaking salty. I'm 30 years old and licked mine just last year. I didn't believe it was actually salt. The blanket that makes you look like a giant burrito. It was super thin and of poor quality. Not to mention not big enough to cover me. Now I'll never look like a burrito. As an owner of this burrito blanket, yes, it is small, but it is very soft and very comfortable. The 500 cat toys in my house. My cat will never play with any of them, yet I get tricked into buying them when I go into the pet store. Why? Why do you do this to me? Get a box, Tupper tin with lid. Put all the toys inside with some catnip. When you want to play with your cat, just take one toy and lend it to it. They'll love it again. When you see they don't use it anymore, return it to the box or re-impregnates with the catnip. Be careful. The recipient should be insulated if you don't want your cat to find all the toys plus catnip. I bought my oldest a wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube man. You see, that's the problem, monsieur. Once you learn to dance like one, you'll attract 50% more attention without buying anything. My quarantine shopping recently led to me purchasing a manatee-shaped tea infuser. As the proud owner of my own manatee infuser, I am offended. It's one of the best things I've ever bought. Shampoo? I'm bald. Doesn't mean you don't need shampoo. Who doesn't want their homegrown hairy man sweater to be lush and shiny? This comment is showing up blank, almost as though my eyes refuse to communicate what it says to my brain. I bought a make-it-yourself music box with a series of cards to punch out the notes and then insert so you can play whatever tune you want. Thought I could make my GF a special gift. Then I realized that I can't read music, and when I tried to punch it by ear it sounded bloody awful. I was just a few weeks out of basic training and bought one of those family lineage with a shields on it in description. I blew $500 or so bucks just to find out it wasn't even accurate. Lol. Classic boot. Coney 2012. Oh man, is it Coney 2012? You either die the hero, or live long enough to be arrested for public masturbation. My ex was working the Disney college program and she had just graduated. She was making very little money. We were together for about 6 months. During that time I paid for countless meals, gas, traveling around to do stuff, different dates, movies, zoos, etc., hotels, Airbnbs, gifts. There were even times where I would Venmo her money so she could put gas in her car. Now, I can honestly say that I didn't regret a single penny that I spent because I loved her during the time we were together. At the end of the program she moved back home and broke up, citing distance. We talked a few months later and she mentioned how she had gotten us into Disney with her passes a few times, like it was a favor to me. I don't know. I still feel shitty about it and regret dipping into my savings for what turned out to be someone who took me for granted. I'm a teacher, so she wasn't a gold digger, but possibly a pyrite digger. Probably a nickel digger, or worse, a cobalt digger. Cigarettes, smoke-free 4 years. Alcohol, sober 28 years. 28 years, damn. Congrats. Bump hits. Edit. If I knew you could get so much updates from 3 characters I would have done this days ago. It goes under a layer of your hair to make it look puffy on top. I definitely read it as bump hits. This clarifies. Sham wow. I mean, it's got sham right there in the name. But I wanted to support Vince from ShamWow's crusade against Scientology. You know how on Tinder you can't see who's swiped on you unless you also swipe right on them? Well, you can buy Tinder Gold and see everyone who's swiped right on you without having to match with them, monsieur. Well, I saw a girl on there I hadn't seen since school, and who I used to have a massive thing for back in the day. As I went to swipe, the app crashed, and no matter how many people I swiped through, she wouldn't show back up again. I ended up thinking that she might have swiped right on me, and the app was telling me I had 70-odd matches waiting for me. So I bought Tinder Gold, 13 of my hard-earned British pounds. For a month, there was 70-odd matches there. Men, women, couples, everything. But she wasn't there, obviously. Got drunk and started ordering ninja gear off of Amazon and forgot about it until it showed up like a week later. Swords, nunchucks, a suit and mask. Hell yeah bro, that's awesome. A pocket pussy. It was back when me and my wife were still dating. We were out of town for a concert, a festival, or maybe just a weekend. And there was this big, heavily advertised and kinda posh adult shop just a block or two down the road from our hotel. The last day of our trip, we didn't have anything planned, so we ended up going into this shop. They had a whole floor devoted to dildos and vibrators, and my wife found one she really liked. I started joking around about how they have all these toys for women and nothing for guys, and one of the shop employees overheard. He brought us up to the 3rd floor and showed us this largish section that was all fucked toys. It was like 4 whole rows, each one 20 feet long, packed to the brim with silicone pussy. They had feet with pussies, hands with pussies, tits with and without pussies, headless and limbless torsos, mouths of all variety, and a whole line of head-to-toe life-size fuck dolls. Most of it was really expensive, but I managed to find this one that had a glove attached to a pussy and asshole for like $40. So I bought it. We paid for our purchases and went back to the hotel to have fun. My wife really liked her toy, and after a while she asked if I wanted to use mine. I thought about it for just a second and then said no. We had our fun, packed up the next morning and left. I stuck the pocket pussy on our coffee table to meet with some friends who were coming over the next day. After the friends left, it ended up in the back of our closet and stayed there through a move in more than a decade, until my 6-yo found it last November. This is gold. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.